Get rich slow with John Wolf. Hey, I've put several videos out recently about buying my fourplex, what the long-term numbers. First thing, I do not think that I did an excellent job of this process, but that's probably going to be really similar to just about anybody's first try. So I want to go over the numbers, what it took to turn over the apartment, how long it took me, and also what the new ownership numbers for my fourplex looks like I went over in my second video, but with the new rent amounts that I was able to get. Anyways, I turned over one unit in the fourplex. It was not in terrible shape, but the last person who rented it was wheelchair bound, and that just does result in a bunch of gouges in walls and little interior doors having holes in them and stuff like that. Like nothing awful. So anyways, having people come in to fix all the minor damage, paint, and then having a cleaning crew come in and clean the whole thing was basically $1,000 flat. I did add a refrigerator, a washer machine, and a dryer machine. I did those used from Spencer's, which is a great place to grab appliances in the Portland Metro. And I also paid $500 to have the pretty decently large yard cleaned up, tilled, reseeded. So in the spring, it's going to have just amazing grass. So anyways, all of that together was $2,470. Not terribly bad, I don't think. And it took me 1 month to fix it and rent it out. Now, I think that if I had all of my things together and would have been ready with the right, subcontractors to help me out, I really think it could have been done in a week. And I probably could have had it rented and filled maybe 1 or 2 weeks later. It ended up really sitting around for about 5 weeks, but that's just me not being super on top of it apartment, manager. Mostly because, it was empty and I'm super busy doing loans for you guys. And I make a lot more money doing the loans than renting the apartment on any given month. So anyways, top priority was what it was. And even with it not being a very high priority, I think I did really well. So if you include 1 month of it not being rented, which is more or less what happened, but an exaggeration for what it would be if I was on top of it, it cost $3,820 of, lost potential and actual cost to turn over a unit. But what am I getting for that? So I was able to raise the rent to $1,350 with the new owners or new renters who seem awesome and will probably be there and happy for a really long time. And so let's take a look at what the new numbers I generated. So same thing as last time. This chart isn't intended for FHA and it wasn't intended for me not being there for 1 year. So sort of year number 1 is really year number 2 in this chart. So we look at this and now I am actually cash flowing with all the new rent amounts, $3,000 in the first year. And all the other costs you should be able to see here should be the same as last time. I just copied them over really quick. And, if I was going to sell this property on the 11th year, which I have no intention of, you can see here that my total profit from this whole escapade in 11 years is going to be $515,000, which if you think about how little I put into this originally, my whole out-of-pocket total, including the first year where I was there and couldn't rent one of the units, taking about $1,000 loss a month. It only took me $35,000 to play this game, and I'm going to make $5,500. And again, this is already handicapped for having vacancies 5% of the time. This is already handicapped for a 6% management fee. This is already handicapped for costs increasing over time, and they're not actually all going to increase over time. So owning fourplexes is just amazing. And the scariest thing for most people, I really think, is the actual management part. It has not been hard. Putting an ad on Craigslist was a new experience, but it wasn't that difficult. Setting up tenant tech for somebody new and getting all the contracts out was a new experience, but it wasn't very difficult. And it didn't really cost very much money to get this all set up. Just some things that I did so you guys know. I joined Northwest Property Management Group because they're sort of the only legal aid / lobby for us trying to live the get rich slow lifestyle. Then they hook into another program called Tenant Tech, which is really just a service company for us. And it's super slick. You put in the information for the person, you put in the information for the unit, and it basically just tells you what legal forms you need to get signed. It even has an e-sign apparatus. It's super, 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 super slick. I really loved it. And it made it easy. Otherwise, it was just putting an ad on Craigslist. I think I had about 4 or 5 people call in totality, and only one family actually did the application. I reviewed it. It was great. So they're moving in. Really simple. And I'm really glad to be able to help people out, especially because a lot of people are looking at renting apartments often because they need some kind of a break or a second chance. Anyways, if you have questions, comments, concerns, please put them down. If you love my video, like it, subscribe if you haven't already. I'm going to have a whole bunch more good stuff coming up. Have an awesome day. Bye.